Hey friends, and welcome back to another episode of Christian Podcasting Secrets. I'm your host, Tammy Munson, and today we are doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be doing some Q&A. So over the last few months, I've received some fantastic questions from friends like you, and I'm really excited to dig in and share with all of you. So we're going to be talking about starting your podcast, also about growing your audience, how to monetize, and how to avoid running out of content. Yep, I am covering it all today. So grab your favorite beverage, a notebook, and let's dive in. So as we all are probably very aware, Thanksgiving is next week. I'm not even sure how that happened. Wasn't it just September? But it is here nonetheless. Because Thanksgiving is next week, there will be no new episode next week. Enjoy the holiday. We'll probably be cooking and all the things. And so I hope that you have a wonderful time with your friends, your family, your friends that are like family, or whoever you are with. And if you do want something to listen to, we do have lots of other episodes. We have 115 other episodes for you to listen to. Now, I do want to take a moment and just talk about something that I am truly grateful for. As we know, this season, the holiday season, the Christmas season, is all about gratitude and being thankful for what we have in our lives and showing that gratitude to the people that mean the most to us. It's about having gratitude for the good and the not so good things, the bitter and the sweet. And I just want to take a moment to show my thanks. This year, I am incredibly grateful for this podcast community, for each of you listening and sharing and showing up week after week. You know, when I came back earlier this year from the 8-month break, I wasn't sure what this was going to look like. I wasn't sure if there was going to be an audience for it, but you did. You showed up and you tuned in week after week, and I am incredibly grateful for that. Because I'll be honest, when you stop doing a podcast for 8+ months, it can be a hard road back. But you were there, listening to new episodes, sending in questions, and I truly have felt all the love on this new version of the podcast. So a couple of months ago, I got a message from a listener. Her name is Lisa, who said that one of our episodes gave her the push that she needed to start her podcast. She has since then launched it, and her audience is growing. And that is the best thing. That is why I do what I do. And it reminded me that even if just one person, just you, friend, is impacted, it is completely worth it for me. Because this calling was directly from God. And I've shared that story about how God told me to help people like you tell their stories. And that is what I get to do each and every day. I say it all the time. I have the best job in the world, and I just wanted to say thank you. Okay, let's get into some questions. First up, we have a question from Wendy. And Wendy asks, what is the first step in starting a podcast? I feel like I could step in so many different directions, but what do you need to do first? Now, this is a great question. It's one that I get quite commonly. And really get clear on your why and the purpose of your podcast. What is your message? Who is it for? Because everything else flows from there. You don't need to worry about the equipment yet. You don't need to worry about what platform you're going to be on or any of those things. You need to know, who are you serving? What is the message that you're sharing? And why are you doing it? Okay. Second question, another common question is, do I need a fancy, super expensive mic? No. Let me repeat that for those in the back of the room. No. While the more expensive mics, like the Rode Pod Mic, the Rode Podcaster, the Shure M7B, all the mics that we see on the super popular podcasts, they're wonderful. They're spectacular. but you don't necessarily need that to have good sound, especially in the beginning. You can get a quality microphone that is budget friendly, like the Samson Q2U or the Audio-Technica ATR 2100X. Those are great mics. They will give you great sound because this is all about starting where you are. We're not trying to break the bank with any of this stuff. Now, if you are getting started and you want some launching your podcast and or mic recommendations, it's all in our free Launch Your Podcast Guide. You're going to go head over to the website, wildfirecreativecompany.com/launch guide, and you will find all of that information right in there. It's free. Sign up, give us your email address, and you will get it immediately. Okay. Another question we have from Stacy, and Stacy says, "Hey, Tammy, how can I grow my podcast audience quickly?" And this is the $1,000,000 question, right? So first off, podcasting is a long-term game. Yes, there are some people who launch their podcast and they have an immediate audience, but the more important thing here is you want to be consistent in the content that you're delivering as well as when you're publishing those episodes. And you want to make sure that you are promoting your episodes via email, social media. Wherever your people are, that's where you want to be promoting that. And I don't mean you just put up the one weekly thing. You need to continually be talking about your podcast, the episodes, what you're talking about over there, who did you have on as a guest. One of the other key components to this is engaging with your listeners. You want to ask questions, run polls, create a community around your show, create a Facebook group, or utilize Instagram Reels. These are great resources to utilize in order to have that engagement. You want to reach out to them directly via your email list. Now, I do have an episode coming up in a few weeks that's going to talk about growing your audience, so stay tuned. Okay, next question is from Megan. And Megan says, "Hey, Tammy, what's the best social media platform to promote a podcast?" So here's my answer. You're probably not going to like it, but it depends. It depends on your audience. But Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn are all great places to be. They can be a gold mine for engagement. The most important thing here is you want to find out where your people, your audience is, and meet them where they're at. So if they're not on Facebook, don't be on Facebook. If they're on LinkedIn and Instagram, great. If you're promoting to a certain demographic, like if you're promoting to Gen Z, you're probably going to need to go on TikTok to promote your podcast, YouTube, all those places. Do your research on your audience, and then you will know exactly where they are. The most important thing to remember with this is you don't need to be in all the places. You just need to be where your people are. Okay, so the next question is about monetization, and this comes from Grace. And Grace says, "Tammy, when should I think about monetizing for my podcast?" Again, not the best answer, but it does depend. It depends on your goals. But I wouldn't worry so much about monetizing your podcast because to really get a lot out of monetization, you need to build trust. You need to build that loyal audience first before you can really get anything out of monetization. If you already have a built-in audience, then you can go directly into monetization. But if you don't, then you need to focus on that first. And now once you've got that, then you can explore options like sponsorships or creating merch or Patreon or events. I know we all hear the news about this podcaster is making 6 figures with their podcast now, or this podcaster has a monthly revenue of $10,000 a month, and that's great for them. But that is the exception rather than the rule. And I don't want to discourage you in any way, but you guys know I'm very practical and I'm very real about things. And this is just the reality of the industry right now. The most important thing is grow that audience first. Make sure you're building trust with them. Develop that audience. Know what they want. hit their pain points, then you can monetize it. Because remember, it's not just about downloads. It's about engagement and connection and consumption. The next question is from Melissa, and she says, "Hey, Tammy, how do I avoid running out of content?" And I love this one, actually. The easiest way, start making a list of topics that your audience cares about. Notice that I didn't say that you care about, because it's all about your audience, right? They're the ones that are going to come download the show, listen to the show, buy the merch, sign up for all the things. So it really has to be about them. What questions do they have? Because this helps you plan ahead. This is why the research phase of launching your podcast is important, like what type of audience, and then the continual demographic surveys, engaging with them. Then you get to know your audience really, really well and can anticipate their needs. So friends, that is a wrap today. Very short and sweet today. I hope that you found these answers helpful. You are not alone on this journey. I am here for you, and of course, the entire team here at Wildfire is here for you as well. So keep sending in those questions. You can always email me at tammy@wildfirecreativecompany.com, and I will be sure to do one of these shows every quarter so that you can get the information that you need. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you would share this with a friend. And of course, always leave a review because it helps more people find out about the show. So friend, until next time, I want you to keep sharing your story and spreading God's word. I hope that you and your family and loved ones have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Don't forget, there is no new episode next week, but we've got lots of other episodes for you to listen to. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.